Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to go through the Extreme Super Battle Road stage for Resurrected Warriors. So in this stage we are going to kind of use a Resurrected Warriors team led by the Tech Margin Vegeta. We are taking the friend that they offer you, the 100% Tech Margin Vegeta. Not by choice, I just couldn't find any physical freezes. There were none around, so unfortunately we were unable to take him. And we're basically just going to go along here and just pray that the Broly's get us through. Essentially that is the strategy here. We've got the double LRs. I'm very fortunate in that I have a 55% strength Broly and a 79% tech Broly. So we are very much looking forward to taking on this stage and hoping that we can dish out the damage with our Broly lineup, because yeah, the rest of the team is lacking just a tiny bit. Metal Cooler is probably the weakest link here. His stats are decent and he's providing some great support, but he does struggle a little bit, especially defensively on that end. We do have the Demon King Piccolo, one of my favorite units, and he is going to be able to sit and soak up some damage for us, but because of the general weakness defensively of our team, we're going to be heavily reliant on both the Brolys getting multiple attacks, critting, and just basically dealing a whole bunch of nonsense. But the Strength Broly, he's obviously very good after his EZA. His defense becomes really solid after he super attacks, but it's not as strong before super attacking, but we're going to stick him in the first slot anyway because it is a higher starting point than the Tech Broly. The Tech Broly as well, he's going to just sit in the second slot. This is his home, and he's going to dish out multiple super attacks. He fires a super attack as long as there is 2 or more enemies. So basically once we get the first super attack, we are going to be able to guarantee at least a second, and in some situations like this, a third. He is sitting with 110% attack and defense, and he will transform at the 4th turn and get his active skill as well. So we're going to have a very strong position from then on, and he's going to insta delete someone for us. Then we have the Strength Broly. He obviously has 50% attack and defense up front, gaining additional attack and defense when he supers. He also gains defense on his super, so he's going to be very strong defensively after supering. The rest of our team is essentially just going to be the Margin Vegetas. One perk of the Margin Vegetas is if obviously we are fighting an enemy and he has 80% health left, we are going to be able to get the transformation, which is great on 2 fronts. One, because it makes Vegeta super effective against all types, and 2, because it allows him to guard against all attacks as well, depending on the amount of orbs we get. So that's going to make Vegeta a very solid tank slash offensive option, so I'm not too upset with having him. I would prefer to have the Frieza, just so we could link him with our Golden Frieza, and also get off a couple more seals and stuns that he provides. And he's a bit better overall defensively than the Margin Vegeta off the bat. But, you know, it's more than fine to run with this. We do clear it with this, so it's pretty okay. In terms of this stage, one thing I will note is that we just need to be careful of the... Well, we need to be careful of the Strength Broly. Obviously, because he's in first slot, he can take a little bit of damage. But if he's getting too many attacks before he supers, we are going to have to use an item. It's going to be very imperative that we do so. But because we got the stun on the Gohan, we can just kind of go off the hilter here. Obviously, Broly is going to automatically super twice. Broly will super a second time as long as he gets his first super. So that's really what kind of sets Broly apart, is 2 guaranteed supers basically. And then obviously Tech Broly, as long as you get him the key, he'll do the business with some big boy attack stats. So all in all, pretty decent first fight there. We're going to move into the second one here, and we're going to take on the Hybrid Saiyan team here. So the one very fortunate thing is that we are fighting Hybrid Saiyans, in every single fight, I believe, so, or Pure Sands. So that means that the Strength Broly will have his key activate. Another important thing as well, especially if you're running this Int Frieza that I'm running, with Int Frieza, just be aware that he does have a higher critical chance against Goku's family enemies. So if you are fighting, any Goku family enemies, you might want to keep them around or focus on them with him to obviously get the higher critical chance that he will have. A lot of these things, by the way, like additional super attacks that spawn when you are attacking certain types of enemies or facing certain types of enemies, these attacks will proc, or these effects will proc even if you target the unit that you are not, well, does not fulfill the requirements. So as long as you are facing that unit, the requirements should go off for most of these passives. So for example, increased critical chance against Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans. That will proc even if you attack Krillin, for example, as long as there's a Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans active. So it's important to try and use those kind of passives or those kind of techniques to really increase your chances at clearing the stage. But beyond that, we will kind of go into this. We do have Demon King Piccolo, who's a great tank. When he gets 5 or more orbs, he is an exceptional tank. So we're going to obviously keep him around to try and soak up some damage. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to transform automatically in any of these stages, because I do not believe we face any Dragon Ball Seeker units. So we do have to keep that in mind. We are going to pop a Princess Snake here. The reason being simply because we've got the Metal Cooler on rotation. He takes a lot of damage. And then also the Broly, as said before, he would take a mega ton of damage if he got hit by a Goten Super before he got off his super attacks. So we're just going to pop a Princess Snake and protect ourselves. My Broly is at 55%. If Broly was maybe a little bit higher, or I had dupes in him, this stage would be way easier. Honestly, the Broly duo, really a hard carry, obviously my strategy. I think in general, for people who are looking to take on the stage, you definitely want to look at obviously using units like Golden Frieza. If you can't use Golden Frieza, the Majin Vegetas are also very good. The Int Goku, the Pycon as well, I believe, is in Resurrected Warriors. No, he isn't. He's in Other World Warriors. But yeah, so any unit that you can use in Resurrected Warriors will be pretty good. The AGL Frieza and the Tech Golden Frieza are also very good options as tanks. They're pretty solid. Majub or Majin Oob or Majub or Oob, the tech unit from the Battlefield shop, is maybe a decent alternative, but I don't know if he's going to be the number one unit to utilize here. But overall, we get the transformation with Vegeta, which is obviously very solid. We are going to avoid super attacking with him, and the reason that is because we are going to try and set up some orbs here for the Piccolo, and we're just going to shift him onto the 3rd slot. That way we can kind of control ourselves a bit better. We are obviously using a couple items there to do so, but overall it's a bit of a safer move than, just kind of throwing Vegeta down the wind and just letting him not get super attacks or orbs and then take a whole bunch of damage. If we're able to get orbs, I would have kept Vegeta there, because obviously he would have guarded against all types and been quite good defensively. But for now, we're just going to leave him there. Piccolo with 5 orbs will be more than fine, and with an Android 8 means he has a very high defense, so we're more than happy with what's going on here. Piccolo obviously has a dupe from the World Tournament, so that's a 2 dupe Piccolo there, but a very solid unit overall. And then we're going to hopefully just delete Trunks here. If we take a super attack in the 1st slot, we are going to be in trouble, but we should be more than fine to take the damage here and dish it out. We're going to put Broly in the 1st slot, try and get that Mega Chad attack stat to go off, and then hopefully just eliminate Trunks and kind of give ourselves a good platform to roll into the next fight. You can see we've obviously with Strength Broly able to go in the first slot, he will stack his defense quite well. So we're not too worried about it. We'll see how he goes, but he should be more than fine. He does have the 50% buff from Android 8, so it will be a little bit better overall for him, because he's going to stack some defense on that defense. But we'll have to see. We are relying. We're going to take some big damage here. Not too bad. 220k is not bad, considering there's no damage reduction items active. We are going to need a crit or a big boy attack stat from this Broly, just so we can kind of get rid of this Trunks, who's doing some decent damage. This is the problem when you don't finish off enemies in Extreme Super Battle Road. They really just leave you with some mega chip damage. You know, we're not talking about little numbers. We're talking about 30k a hit, 40k a hit, some big attack stats. But we should finish them off here. It's kind of why I'm being careful with the orbs, so that we don't get the Dokkan attack in this round, because we really want the Dokkan attack next round, so that we can do as much damage as possible to the Goku family team that we're going to face up next. Well, oh, it's not the Goku family. It is Pycon and SS3 Angel Goku. Sorry, the Goku family is in another stage, Super Class, I believe. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the Dokkan attack here. We're going to get the Ultra attack with Broly. Luckily, we have some type advantage here against the physical Pycon. We are going to focus down the physical Pycon. The reason being is we don't want him to be able to hit our Golden Frieza, with Golden Frieza being probably one of our weaker units. Once we remove that Pycon, we should have quite a large chance of control against the Goku. The only problem with getting the Dokkan attack, obviously, is it's going to prevent us from getting the Majin Vegetas to transform, because Broly will more than likely do more than 20% of Goku's health with this blow. But removing Pycon quickly will enable us to control the fight a lot better, prevent Metal Cooler from taking damage, just prevent Golden Frieza from taking damage, and then we won't have any type disadvantage, which will obviously help us out quite extensively. So something we definitely want to keep our eyes on when we're doing this stage. But yeah, Broly doing some really good damage there. The follow-up attack's also going to do a nice chunk of damage, and Pycon's already quite low, which is obviously very fortunate. Goku's also taking quite a bit of damage, and then we should have the Tech Broly follow up, hopefully getting a crit, and then we should be well in control of this fight. So there we go, good follow-up attack, gets his second super because there's 2 more enemies, and then he will hopefully crit here. He'll crit, okay, perfect. I think that is Pycon dead, which is great. Yeah, that's Pycon down. So we're already now only focusing the one Goku. So yes, he's below 80% health, so we're not going to get the transformations, but we do have a lot of good control here. The that Frieza is going to be more than fine, sitting there in front slot. He's going to have high defense, he's going to stack that defense as well, and he's going to get the chance for crits on Goku, so he's going to be a really solid option for some reliable damage and tanking here, which is, you know, really good. Their Metal Cooler's not in danger anymore, so it's really only once the Broly rotation comes back on. You just need to be careful about them taking super attacks before they fire off their super attacks. But yeah, pretty solid here. Obviously we did manage our Dokkan attacks a little bit. We kind of had to prevent like any serious damage. And I mean, we did get a good Dokkan attack off. Obviously removed Pycon quite early, which has made things a little bit easier. But yeah, overall, quite solid performance. Yeah, you can see this is the problem when Broly gets attacked before he supers. Very big damage on Broly there, way more than he would have taken afterwards. He does reply back with some big damage of his own, but that is one concern you do have to be careful of, and it can probably cause you a couple retries. It's just taking that super attack before Broly gets off his. The difference in his defense is quite remarkable. But yeah, the Tech Broly is going to finish it all off for us, and that's going to be the win. So cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you're going with the ESBR down below, and I'll see you in the next one. But until then, cheers and bye.